Derek O'Brien, leader of the Trinamool Congress, live from Kolkata. Thanks very much, Derek O'Brien. You've been very, very vocal about this even before the official notification came that there is to be no question hour. Now, Derek O'Brien, the government is saying that, look, there is no choice. The opposition has to accept this because this is a curtailed session of Parliament, and also we have to take COVID precautions, and that's why you can't have question hour. Why is that not acceptable to you as an answer?
I think you should. The government should ask the same question. Why is it not acceptable to the 25 lakh students who are doing the joint entrance and NEET exam? They can have triple question hour for them. They have 3-hour, 4-hour papers, and the government is telling us they can't have question hour. What nonsense is this? Let me give the facts. Normal session of Parliament, working session of Parliament, is 5 hours, 6 hours a day into 5 days in the week. So normal Parliament works for 30 hours a week. In the so-called curtail session, we are working, no problem, 7 days a week at 4 hours a day. So it's 28 hours. In this pandemic session, it's 28 hours. The normal session is 30 hours.
Right.
If you minus the private members' bills, which we don't have to have, both pre-pandemic 28 hours, post-pandemic 28 hours. Why do you want to take away the question hour? Because you don't want to answer questions. Now, the government will also tell you that no, in the past, there have been many occasions where question hour has not been held. Correct. But those are all special sessions. Those are not regular sessions of Parliament like the monsoon session, the winter session, and the budget session. China war, there was no question hour. If emergency 1975, there was no question hour. So when Parliament is called at short notice for a presidential proclamation, or some urgent business, 2-3 days, that's the 4 days, that's the time which could be called and kind of emergency situations. There have been 5-6. Those are all emergency situations.
But Derek,
but this is a regular session of Parliament.
Okay, Derek O'Brien, understood. But tell us why the government is saying, okay, there is no question hour, but there is 0 hour where urgent matters of national interest can be raised. What is the importance of question hour?
Oh Lord. You see, the problem is then we have to conduct a tutorial for them running Parliament, because Parliament is very simple. In 0 hour, no minister in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, any member can make a 3-minute intervention, and no minister needs to reply to an issue raised in 0 hour. That's the convention. You don't. If they do reply, it's a bonus.
Right.
But for question hour, 1 hour in each house, you are duty bound to stand up and answer. What do you have to answer? You have to answer questions on how the unemployment rate is 45%, on how you've messed up COVID, on how you're messing up the minus 23% or minus 24% of GDP. You'll have to have the hard answers. So they want to run away, but I'm not surprised. I'm not one bit surprised that they're running away. I'll tell you why. Because the Prime Minister himself doesn't answer questions. So now it's no more Indian Parliament. Soon, as I said last week, it will become M&S Private Limited. And the rest of all 800, M and S, you figure out who M stands for and who S stands for. These are serious issues of Parliament. Whether Trinamool Congress is the only party or there are 5 more parties doesn't matter.
But that's the point. That's the point, Derek O'Brien. I want to ask you, because the Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi has told NDTV that everybody is on board except Derek O'Brien. We have spoken to all leaders. Even Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, who is a TMC leader in Parliament, has accepted this, and you are the outlier.
Pradeep, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister is an honorable man, but I must tell you, he's lying through his teeth. And he needs to have a tutorial in Parliament first. I shouldn't say this because he's a gentle kind of guy. But he takes his impressions from, there's no outlier here. There's no outlier. Every single young person, the youth of India, the young people of India are watching. Nobody has agreed to Parliament. Let me put it on record.
Yes.
How many people has he reached out to?
I'll tell you.
Has he reached out to? No. Who has he reached out to?
Can I
Which
answer
is-
that? Can I answer that? He's claiming, and this is his claim, by the way. He's claiming Ghulam Nabi Azad has agreed of the Congress, Deve Gowda has agreed, Sharad Pawar has also agreed, and Sudeep Bandyopadhyay of TMC has agreed.
Please don't light fires within our own party. We're all one united All India Trinamool Congress. Please understand. This is an issue of parliament. This is an
But
issue
has
of
he
parliament.
reached? Okay, but has he reached out? Derek O'Brien, did you get a call from either him, because we believe even Rajnath Singh was also reaching out? Were you reached out to?
You see, on these television programs, I normally do not like to discuss back channel calls.
Okay,
I had 3 conversations with Mr. Rajnath Singh,
okay,
and I conveyed to Mr. Rajnath Singh very calmly that Rajnath ji, the existing session of parliament is 28 hours. The normal session is 30 hours. You have called the session to pass your ordinances. Tell us that. But don't tell us, don't make lame excuses. Why doesn't Mr. Joshi or anybody else come and have a discussion and a debate on this subject?
right,
Please. And I don't care who's agreed, which party has agreed or which party has not agreed.
okay,
Because I can also give you a counter. The
Okay.
chief whip, since you mentioned Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad, let me set the cat amongst the pigeons.
okay,
The chief whip of the Congress party quote-tweeted my tweet. The chief whip, the newly appointed chief whip of the Congress party, Mr. Jairam Ramesh, quote-tweeted my tweet this morning and said correct. So I don't want to get into another party's business. It's not mine.
Okay.
Please, this is a very simple issue.
in
This
the
is
event-
not 1 minute.
Derek
This is one-
O'Brien, if I can ask you in conclusion, that in the event they decide not to reinstate question hour, what is your choice? What are you going to do?
For us in the Trinamool, every institution is sacrosanct. We are not going to walk away.
Okay,
You know, it's like saying because you're fighting Facebook, so you close your Facebook account. No, we will fight this MNS dictatorship strategically and tactically.
right,
We will fight. You're asking the same, that please understand, there
Yes.
is absolutely no logical reason. There's no logical reason. Don't tell me about precedent.
Okay.
Because all the precedents I put out,
Yes.
the 8 or 9 precedents is all special sessions.
Okay.
So these two-bit leaks to the media saying I spoke to this one and I spoke to this one. Should the people of India,
yes,
if MPs are not allowed to ask questions to ministers,
yes,
what hope does this country have? What
Okay.
hope does this country have?
All right.
And we are all lining up. We have to stand up and be counted. I'm not asking for something special. I'm not asking for sugar candy.
Okay.
And then you're making me some outlier. But
Okay.
we were also, Trinamool was also outliers when the land bill came.
Fair
We were
enough.
13 people who voted against the land bill.
Fair
we are
enough,
not
your
counting who he
Okay.
spoke to A, spoke to B.
Okay.
Tell me about the laws. Come and have a debate with me and try and convince me that this is question hour should not have been there.
Okay.
And you're telling me 0 hour. Then they've also called up and told me, you know what? Now I'll tell you that for question hour, the COVID can be a problem. Why? Because the ministers have to be briefed by officials.
yes,
Lord Almighty, the ministers can be briefed virtually. You can choose 2 or 3 ministers, ministries every day. You can get 6 officials in each house. This is very simple. Do you want to answer the hard questions,
right,
or you don't want to answer the hard questions?
Fair enough.
For me and the All India Trinamool Congress,
yes,
we are not anybody's rubber stamp.
okay. Derek O'Brien, strongly put as always. Thank you very much indeed for joining us on NDTV.